In this lecture, we are going to change the font size options for our theme. WordPress allows users to customize the font size options for various blocks. It's a heavily supported feature. As usual, we can recommend font sizes to our users. These sizes should match our theme. To get started, open the theme.json file. Font sizes can be recommended on a global level or block-specific level. Let's look at both examples. First, let's suggest some global font sizes. We can configure font sizes through the typography object in the settings section. Inside this object, add a new property called font sizes. The value for this property is an array of objects where each object represents a single font size. Let's try adding a new font size. By default, WordPress will recommend a series of font sizes in pixels. In my opinion, pixels are not the greatest unit measurement for web design. The most common and reliable unit measurement is rem. Let's convert the font sizes to rem. First, we need to add a slug. Before we add the slug, let's talk about the default font sizes by WordPress. WordPress has 4 font sizes, which are called small, medium, large, and extra large. As you can see, they're using pixels. By creating a new set of font sizes, WordPress will not delete these variables from the document. Interestingly, WordPress allows us to override these values with our own. The question becomes, why would we want to do that? It's simple. Clients may not want to use our themes in the future. Transitioning from one theme to another should be painless as possible. Therefore, the WordPress community strongly encourages developers to override the font sizes for WordPress's existing variables. By doing so, clients can easily move from theme to theme. In the resource section of this lecture, I provide a link to a blog post with more information on this topic. I highly recommend reading this blog post after you're finished this lecture. It's not an official recommendation, but it has gained traction. For the best possible experience for our clients, we're going to override WordPress's default values with our own. Switch back to your editor. For the first font size, we're going to change the size for the small option. Set the slug property to small. We don't need to include the entire variable name. The name after the prefix is all we need. Next, let's set the size property, which will be the value for the variable. For this example, we're going to use the following value, 0.75 rem. Lastly, we can add a human-readable name for our size with the name property. Set the name to small. The process for updating the other variables will be the same. Let's create 4 additional copies of this object. The names will be the following: medium, large, extra large, gigantic. Lastly, the sizes will be the following: 1.25 rem, 2.25 rem, 3 rem, 3.75 rem. The gigantic size is not an official size. However, we're adding it in to test custom sizes. After making those changes, our font sizes should appear in the editor. Before testing our code, let's learn how to add font sizes to a block. Let's take it a step further by completely disabling font sizes for the pre-formatted block. The pre-formatted block allows us to write text with preserved whitespace and formatting. The primary purpose of this block is to display code. In my opinion, it's probably a good idea to restrict typography options. This type of behavior will vary from theme to theme. First, we should select the block. Inside the blocks object, add the core/preformatted block. Next, add the typography object. 2 properties must be added to completely disable the font size options. Firstly, we must add the font sizes property with a value of an empty array. By adding an empty array, WordPress will not provide the user with a selection of predefined sizes. However, users will be able to configure a custom font size. This option can be hidden by setting the custom font size property to false. Great! Let's try testing the results in the editor. First, let's check out the Global Styles sidebar. Under the sidebar, the typography options will display our custom font sizes. This includes our gigantic font size. Just in case, we should verify WordPress's variables were overridden with ours. Open the Developer Tools. Under the Elements panel, select the body tag. If we were to scroll through the long list of variables, we should find the font size variables. As you can see, the variables are being set to our theme's custom sizes. WordPress is not duplicating these variables. If a user were to switch themes, they should be able to seamlessly do so. Let's move on to testing the pre-formatted block. Add this block to your template. After adding this block, let's check out the typography settings. Users will not be able to change the font size. We've completely restricted this block. Perfect! Let's move on to other typography settings.